camera. Screen share. Okay, so I'm gonna screen share. There. Probably this. Okay, guys, sorry for the delay. MG here from mgcovers.com, bringing you an NHL betting preview for February the 26th, 2019, Tuesday. Got a really big card. We're going to give you a complete breakdown, statistical analysis of every game. Before we start, we do have some changes. Yesterday was the NHL trade deadline, so you had a lot of teams, some teams unloading a lot of talent to prepare for the future. Ottawa was one of those, Anaheim as well. But again, that doesn't mean they're going to start, losing games less than 40% of the time, which you'll probably end up finding some value there with Ottawa and Anaheim. Teams that improved. I really like what Nashville did. I also like what Columbus did. We're going to end up playing Columbus tonight because of that. Well, not because of that, but it's just a lot of value there as well. But those two teams, I think, really gained a significant advantage for the push to the playoffs, adding a lot of depth there. So let's get started with the card here. All right, first off, we have Calgary coming in at -105. They have a power ranking of 97, going on the road to face the Islanders. Islanders are 109 power ranking. They come in as a favorite at -116. This should be a good game. LA Kings at +220. Almost had the upset last night. I really thought they were going to win it in the shootout, but lost to Tampa. Playing pretty good hockey. They come in at +220. Huge dogs tonight on a back-to-back. They have an 82 power ranking on the road to face Carolina. They have a power ranking of 127. If you're new to the channel, the highest power ranking someone can have is a 120. That means they have a 60% chance of winning this game. The lowest power ranking would be an 80, and that team has a 40% chance of winning the game. So Carolina, -270. Again, no value there for us. Next game, Buffalo, +143. They have a power ranking of 94. Philadelphia, home team, -165. I like Philadelphia in this scenario. Again, just too much juice to pay. Considered only a 101 power ranking, which means they have about a 51, 52% chance of winning the game. So no value there. And finally, the first game we're going to look at closer, Pittsburgh, +120. They have a 95 power ranking on the road facing Columbus at -150. We'll get into this game later, but again, Columbus added a lot of depth. They have a power ranking of 113, so we view them as a better team. We're going to do, again, we don't play any line above -150. We're going to look at the three-way line in this situation here. So we like leaning towards Columbus here. Next, San Jose, +100. This probably will be in a very, very exciting game. They have a power ranking of 114 on the road to face Boston at home. Really good team at home, -120. They have a power ranking of 119. We're going to have some value there as is. We have Boston at about, I think, a 59% chance of winning the game. So we do have value there at the -120. Next, Ottawa, who absolutely unloaded their stars yesterday. So they come in as huge dogs, +260, 95 power ranking on the road to face Washington at -323. You know what? I really wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa ended up upsetting Washington. Again, not enough. We like to see a team with a higher power ranking. But again, just from a value perspective, I would play Ottawa. If somebody made me pick a team, I would play Ottawa. Again, not enough advantage in power rankings for us to consider that a play. Next, Montreal, -125, 94 power ranking, going on the road to face Detroit, who are the underdogs at +105. They come in at 80 power ranking. No value there for us. And again, if you're new to the channel, you're watching this, you say, well, Montreal has a power ranking of 94. They're 14 points better than Detroit. Why wouldn't you play Montreal, it's because of the juice, minus 125. And a 94 power ranking, that means they have a less than 50% chance of winning the game. So you would actually be paying juice minus 125 for a team that only has maybe a 47% chance of winning the game. So no value there. Next, Minnesota at plus 125. They have an 85 power ranking, going on the road to face struggling Winnipeg. They come in as huge favorites, minus 147. They have a 79 power ranking. We're going to look at this game from a strictly value perspective because Winnipeg has very little chance of winning this game, and we're getting plus 125 odds. So we'll definitely look at that as they lean towards Minnesota. Next, Nashville came out really well at the trade deadline yesterday. They're at plus 120. Have sort of struggled here lately. 82 power ranking. St. Louis comes in as huge favorites, minus 141. They have a 122 power ranking. We will look at St. Louis on the three-way line, I think. So we have some value there. Next, Florida plus 115. They have a 110 power ranking. Nice win on the road yesterday at Colorado. They're on a back-to-back today. Facing Arizona at home, minus 135. Arizona's 101. A little bit of value there with Florida. We're not looking at the game because of the back-to-back. And finally, Dallas at plus 170. They have an 89 power ranking on the road to face Vegas. Traditionally, really, really good at home, but they have actually really struggled here of late. They're at minus 200. Huge favorites at only an 80 power ranking. This will be similar to the Minnesota game. We will look at the Dallas game strictly from a value perspective. All right, so next, these are Moneyline conversions. And what we do here is we show you the team we're going to pick. We give you the odds for the game, and we show you our line that we came up with for the game. We also give you some situational angles to consider that we like in addition to the value. And because, again, we just don't play on value. You can't just, if value was a play, you would just play, heavy favorites and heavy dogs. So we have to have some situational angles in our favor as well. So first off, let's look at Columbus. Let me see, I got my notes here. Yeah, here we go. Columbus odds for this game on the three-way line are minus 105. I will explain the three-way line briefly. You may not be able to get the three-way line at your sports book. In essence, what the three-way line is, it's like a money line, except there's three chances of something happening. You have the favorite winning, you have the underdog winning, and you also have the game going to overtime. If you pick the favorite or the underdog and the game goes to overtime, you would lose. And again, it's really a sucker bet to play the overtime line because they give you great odds, plus 300 or something, but it's just only 11% of the games this year in the NHL have gone to overtime. If you're a dog in the background, I don't know if you guys can hear that. The dog's perfectly fine. He's just in the he's in the cage, but he's okay. And I apologize. So anyway, that's what a three-way line is. And traditionally, I think the line for this game would be above minus 150, so we wouldn't have enough value. But you're playing on a three-way line, it reduces the odds down considerably. And how I factor it is, our line for this game is Columbus minus 135. We have them as a 57% chance of winning this game. Considering 11% of the time the game will go to overtime, we factor in that into our odds. So you got minus 105. We add 10% to that line. That would make that line minus 115. Our line is minus 135. So we still have value there. Let's see. And those of you have never heard, I've explained this several times on the video. That would be going in a store and something's $135, but you're only paying $115 for it. So you have value. And again, even though it's sports betting, sports wagering, sports handicapping, you're still running a business, which means you need to buy things at wholesale, sell them at retail. Is another way to think of it. And we're doing the same with teams. Okay, Columbus, they come in this game, they won the last 3 out of 5. The last 2 games, they had shutouts. So they definitely come in with some confidence. Bobrovsky has really, really played well. He's given up 0-0, 3, 2, and 3 goals in his last 5 games. His last 10 games, he's only given up more than 3 goals just one time. And during those last 10 starts, he's had 3 shutouts. So we definitely have a goalie advantage. I would say Murray for Pittsburgh's been average. And here's the huge thing with Columbus in the trade yesterday. They picked up Ryan DeZingle. They picked up Matt Duchesne, who's will absolutely score. They picked up some defensive depth with Adam McQuaid. So I really think this team has I wouldn't say they have it. I mean, again, Tampa's probably the best team to win the Stanley Cup, but from a sports betting perspective, they had a lot of depth and I think a lot of value on going with Columbus. So we definitely like Columbus there. Next game, Boston -120. Our line for this game is -145, which means Boston has a 59% chance of winning the game. Boston has a confidence advantage. They've won their last 9 out of 10. They are 21 at home. Let's see. Rask is in the pipes for Boston. He's given up 1-5, 2, 3, and 4 goals in his last 5 starts. Jones for San Jose has given up 4, 0, 6, 2, and 4. So not really a goal advantage. I would say they're both probably average. San Jose, this will be their 3rd game in 4 days, all on the road. So we have a fatigue advantage. A back-to-back, generally teams can win on a back-to-back. If a team's playing their 3rd game in 4 days on the road, we definitely have the other team has an advantage as far as fatigue. When teams are fatigued, they don't play good defense, give up more goals. So we definitely leaning towards Boston in that one. Next game, Minnesota. +125. Now, I didn't list the line for Minnesota. What I did was I put 40 in parentheses. So the line is +125 if you play Minnesota. The reason I put 40, which means I just drew a blank. Winnipeg only has a 40% chance of winning the game. So we have a team that only has a 40% chance of winning the game. But in an odds maker, they have to pick a favorite. They have to pick an underdog. So they picked Winnipeg as the favorite. Yet they only have a 40% chance of winning the game. And if we play Minnesota, we're getting +125 odds. So we have a huge value advantage there. Minnesota has won 3 straight. They've really played well. Their last 4 road games, they won 3 of them. So we have a good road record as they go on the road in Winnipeg. Let's see. Winnipeg has struggled here lately. Dubnyk, let's go to the goalie. Dubnyk has played really well. He's given up 1, 2, 1, 3, and 5 in his last 5 starts. Connor will be in the pipes for Winnipeg. At least he's listed. He has struggled, giving up 3, 7, 4, 3, and 1 in his last 5. So we have a goalie advantage there. Next game, St. Louis, red hot St. Louis. They've cooled off some. They've still won their last 3 out of 5. Had a tough loss to Minnesota. Let's see. Team is fatigued. Both teams are fatigued here. They've played 3 games in 4 days, so both teams will be tired in this one. I would still say St. Louis has a confidence advantage. Forgot to go over the odds. Let's go back to that. St. Louis on the 3-way line, which I just explained earlier, they are listed at -105. We have our line at -150, means St. Louis has a 60% chance of winning this game. Goalie advantage only if Bennington starts. If Bennington does not start, we will not consider this game at all. If he starts, this will probably end up being a play. And finally, Dallas +170. This is the same as Minnesota. Vegas is just playing absolutely terrible hockey right now. We have Vegas at only a 40% chance of winning the game, yet we get +170 odds in the going against them. So there's a lot of value advantage there. I think we do have a goalie advantage. Bishop, if he's in the pipes, he's given up 2, 4, 1, 0, 2 goals his last 5 starts. Fleury giving up 5, 2, 6, 4, and 4. Really struggled here of late, so we definitely like that play. And finally, moving on to our final selections, we are going to go with Columbus -105 on the 3-way line. Sorry, dropped my headphones. Boston -113. Minnesota +137. St. Louis -105 on the 3-way, only if Bennington plays. And Dallas at +175. The only game I haven't played, let's see, I haven't played the St. Louis line, and I haven't played the St. Louis game and haven't played the Dallas game. I think the line will move in our favor on Dallas. So again, usually a really big card for us. We only usually play maybe a couple, one or two games, but I definitely like these games we have listed here. Hey, if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe. We're going to do something big with our website. We're going to put all of our we have a link in the description box. Probably should have this before the weekend's out. I'm going to post every single game that we've played so that we're sort of self-monitoring. So each day you'll be able to see the games we played, our record year to date, and all the sports, NFL, college football, college basketball, etc. So that should be up for the weekend. It'll be a really cool thing to check out. Helps also with the transparency so you can see what we're doing year to date. So hopefully you guys have an awesome day. Good luck to you, whoever you decide to wager on tonight. Take care.